Namaskar, namaskar. Welcome back to another live Thursday, 7 p.m. So hope you guys doing fantastic, and also hope you guys are excited for the holidays. We're almost 22nd December today, so the Christmas is coming and the New Year is coming. So I know a lot of you are planning their vacations or already on vacation. So I'm also excited because it's my baby's first New Year, and also I'm going on a vacation, a short vacation. So lots of new year plans, new year resolutions. So lots of things going on. How about you? What's if you're new here? Where are you joining the live from? And if you don't know me, my name is Aditya Soma. I'm a real estate investor and realtor here in Windsor, Ontario. So I do these lives to help you. If you have any questions related to real estate, jump in, join, and ask, because it's this live is purely just to help you if you have any concerns or challenges that you're going through. If you're already an investor, if you have some tenant issues or property management issues or renovation issues, anything going on in your life, join this live and ask, because I strongly believe if you want to grow in life, you got to ask for help. So this is my way of giving back. And let me know where you're joining. What's your name? Where you're joining live from. So today, like I mentioned in the title, I want to talk about how can you prepare your home if you're planning to sell in 2023. What are the things that you need to do? Because a lot of times people miss on things, on preparing their property. They just rush. They make decisions in a rush. Rather, if you plan a little bit, do certain things, there are certain elements that will, if you focus on a little bit of plan ahead, you will be able to get a top dollar for your property. And in the meanwhile, if you have any questions, anything related to real estate, ask me. Don't hesitate to ask. By the way, I had a lot of complaints from last week because my network has some challenges. Can you guys hear me? If you're joining me live, just give me a thumbs up, down, if you guys can hear me and see me, if my audio and video is okay. Because I see my Wi-Fi, because I I have been constantly bugging them to fix my Wi-Fi. So this time the technician came and looked at all the things. Now I see the Wi-Fi signal also stronger. But I'm just curious, how is it you guys seeing me? How is the audio? How is the video? Just give me a thumbs up or down. So, what are the most important elements that can get you the top dollar for your house? Here's the first top 5 things that I feel you can. Perfect. Thank you, Christine. Thanks for the thumbs up. So here's the first top 5 that I would start with, right? If you're a homeowner, and it doesn't need that much money. It need a very like few $100s and more of your time, and your planning. So the first thing is just put yourself in the potential buyer's shoes. What's the first thing you're gonna see as soon as you walk into the near to the house? The first thing is your landscaping. So if you spend like literally a couple of $100, make the landscaping look clean, remove any weeds or any unnecessary things in your lawn. And if you don't have a bit of landscaping, make sure you have a decent landscaping. You can spend anywhere from like $100 to even $5,000. Depends on how luxury your home is. You can go in that range. But if you have already existing landscaping, if the weeds already start to come out, do the weed removal. And if there is any garbage around your surroundings, make sure remove that. And sodding, if you have enough, the sod start to fall off, right? Like if you have stones, make sure they're all nice and clean. So the first impression is the best impression, right? So that, if you do that, now the buyer walks into your house with a already he got the first impression. It's nice and clean, he likes it, right? So focus on that landscaping. And now, as soon as you enter into the house, what's the first thing many people will notice is the feel of it, right? As soon as you enter, how is the how long ago did you change your paint? If you haven't done a painting in ages, that's another investment that I would strongly recommend. Depends on what size your house is. The expenses can go anywhere from $500 to all the way for $5,000, or even $10,000 if you are very what type of property you own. But that's a really best investment that you can do into your home. And of course, if you don't have money, I have some ideas after I share this, what things you need to do. I'll share the ideas how you can access some funds if you don't have to improve before you sell your home. There are multiple ways you can access to the funds. So coming back to the paint, is something really important. But don't go with the colors that you like, because you're anyways planning to sell, right? So pick and choose the colors that are lighter, make your place brighter. Lighter and make your place brighter. Yeah, I love the quotation. So that's really, I mean it, because pick the neutral colors, because at the end, the homeowners, once they buy, they're going to change kids bedroom to different color, their bedroom with the texture of colors, all those things. But if you have like old painted house versus a nice neutral light gray color, or light very light colors that makes it like nice and bright, will definitely present well on your property. So that will help you to get a good price. um, so that's the second thing. And the third thing, what I noticed, a lot of people just leave the light fixtures as is, because when you enter into the house, the lighting, right, the painting and the lighting, two things will make you feel either completely dark, you're entering into something dark, or you will feeling like nice and bright. So if you update the light fixtures throughout the house, if you can, if you already have older light fixtures, if there, I have seen some older homes, there are no light fixtures at all in the living area. Some of the bedrooms also don't have. If that's the case, I would strongly recommend install some nice spotlights. It would not cost you more than, if you install all new light fixtures throughout your house, if it's a small 3 bedroom 1 bath, 500 to $1,000. If it's a 2,000 square feet or 3,000 square feet, anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000. So that's a good place to invest. That's the third thing I would recommend. And if you want to go into a little bit more expensive renovations, then it's a different story. But before going into the renovation part, the fourth thing that I would recommend is try to declutter your place. This is another area that I see a lot of people miss, where they have all the personal stuff, where they have like rooms full of because nowadays we are consuming a lot of products. We have so many requirements, so many stuff in the house. Even for me personally, right, have so many things like multiple chairs in a room, multiple tables. Try to declutter as much as possible. Keep it very clean, simple, so that because it's not your house anymore. You want to attract enough people, enough good interested buyer who can pay the price, right? So keep it clean. And of course, this is the area where you can get, if you're selling yourself, get a good stager. They can just charge you like $100, $200 or $300 a consulting fees, and come and tell you what elements to remove. Or if you're hiring an agent, of course, then the agent should have a good stager who can come and help you with the declutter, because they know exactly what to look for. That's another good investment that will help your property to stand out. And the fifth one, which is a little bit more pricey than the other four, is if you can invest some money updating your flooring. Because this is another thing. If you've been living there for the last 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and if you have dogs or cats, or kids, the flooring gets damaged, or the flooring is very old, it's not kept up to the date, and if it's not going well with your colors and light fixtures and all those things, then obviously changing that would make the price completely nice and bright. And after all this five, if you still have more energy, and if you really, really want to get the maximum out of your property, Then kitchens and washrooms, if you want to completely redo, if they are completely outdated, if they're not outdated, if they're nice and clean, just paint job and changing the countertop and backsplashes should help you to make the property stand out. And of course, if you're overwhelmed with all these things, this is where you need a professional help, right? Like, so if whichever the city you're in, there are definitely amazing realtors. Contact someone, get their personal opinion, see how much track record they have in selling, making the property stand out, and get all the help in all these areas. And this brings up, like, whenever I meet sellers, a lot of my clients ask, like, oh, I love to do that, I love to get the top dollar, but I don't have money. What can I do? What is the best solution when I don't have money? Right? So that's a concern. If that's you are, here's some of the easy ways you can access money. There are certain credit card companies that would give you some promotional rates. For example, this credit card company that I use often, MBNA, they have promotions coming in every year. What they do is, like, if you have a $10,000 credit card, they say just 1% for 1 year if you do the balance transfer. So you can use that 10,000 and improve your property, and you can pay that back in 1 year. So if you're planning to sell in 3 months or 4 months, so now you're forcing your property. And of course, you need to have some patience while this process, right? So to get top dollar, obviously you have to invest some of your time and money, so to do that. So that's one way. And the other way is, if you already have a HELOC, or if you have a solid equity in your property. A lot of the times people don't realize that if you, let's say your property worth is like $1 million, but you only have a mortgage of 300 or 400 or 500, that means you have equity in your home. You can ask the banks to give you access for those funds through line of credit. So because you have equity in your property, if you qualify for mortgage, they will give you a line of credit. Pretty much like it's like a revolving line of credit. You can take money when you need, and you can pay back. You just need to pay interest only payments while you're paying that. So you don't have to worry about paying bigger mortgages over the period. Just use it when you need, put it back when you don't need. That's another way. Or unsecured line of credits, because the secure line of credits are the cheaper way comparative to unsecured. Unsecured are generally like 2-3% more. That's also another way you can access to funds. That money is you're using, if you use it wisely, right? If you're using wisely, you're improving your property value. And the fourth way, a lot of people don't come across this, and not many people get this access. There are some realtors in, of course, every city has a good realtors, right? So there are some realtors, what they do, they invest with you, like, they give you that, has a private loan, or with a 1%, 2%, whatever the interest, they lend you that money, or if they are really confident enough, they'll give you, and they take it once you sell the property. That's another option too. So again, there are multiple other ways you can access to funds. If you're someone like me who wants to get the best possible price, because you want to make best use of what you have, right? So if you're someone like that, I strongly recommend doing these elements, because definitely those elements will give you the top dollar. I have seen again and again, by when I analyze this property sales, when I see like three different property sales in one neighborhood, the price difference is like some one property, even though they're same size, same type, but one property sold 100,000 more than that, the other property. When I look more into it, the majority of the differences I see is this five elements mostly. Because don't forget, your property is going to be someone's home. So they want to feel it when they enter into your house. When they feel it, when they're emotionally connected, that's when you will get the price. So that's very, very important nowadays, even to sell. Because the market has shifted. It was not like 8 months ago where every property sells. Now not every property sells, especially not for the market value, because getting the market value is the biggest challenge right now in the market. Mm, for that, the first thing is presenting the property well is very, very important. This is the first piece. And of course, there are many other ways you can maximize your returns, but these are some of the very key important pieces I would recommend. And of course, some of the things you want to take even more into check. How is your roof? Is there any leaks? Mm, Before you even do all these things, one of the most important thing that I would recommend is get a home inspection. This is another piece that many people don't realize. Get a home inspection, see if there is any water leaks, see if there is any insulation need to be fixed, or if there is any leaks in the roof. How is the electrician? Is there anywhere any circuit breaks or anything, any little things that you haven't noticed, right? The home inspectors are very good at noticing those issues. So that's another way. Now that's the first place I would suggest, start. Then do according to what inspector suggests, at least from the issues point of view. And then all the other cosmetic things that we talked definitely adds value. So that's pretty much on the selling side. But also, what are you guys planning for your new year? How are you planning? What is your goals for 2023? So if I had an amazing year. Of course, I know it's a rough year as well, but also, I'm very grateful because, not only a money point of view, I have my baby this year. So definitely it's the year that always stays forever with me, because my baby is born in 2022 October. So that's a blessing that I had, and I'm really excited to see how my baby grow this 2023. Cannot wait to see her crawl. Cannot wait to see her walking, speaking, talking to me. She's already responding when I ask something. She says, "Ooh." So it's already. I'm really excited to see that more. But coming to the business side, I'm really excited that, I feel the 2023 can bring a lot of opportunities as an investor, because I'm already seeing, some good opportunities coming in. People who are ready are snapping those opportunities. And my personal goal is I want to finish my office building, um, that I'm in the middle of, because we haven't talked about that in a while now, because I made a video a while ago talking about that building. It's going to be my office plus office hack. There are five other residentials. Right now we are done with the three complete units, completely renovated and already rented. My 3 bedroom unit was rented for 1950, and another two 1 bedroom units rented for 1450 and 1350. um, and now I'm working on the other two units and the commercial, just waiting on the permits because city is taking so freaking long. Those were the existing units that I was able to done. So my goal for 2023 is to finish that project, move into the office, have my office studio. Now I can shoot these videos. Now I have to don't worry about this freaking internet in the house, because it's, when there is a not so open area the Wi-Fi to reach my place, I could be an issue. Now it's office area, so it's going to be like a nice big studio, where I can meet my clients, and we can have a team parties, meetings, regular team meetings and parties in the office. So that I'm excited. I'm hoping that will be ready in next 3-4 months. And the biggest thing on the financial side is, my goal is, on that property I have a lot that I'm already in the process of getting 10-unit building approved. So once I have the approvals from the city, then I can start construction. So that's my biggest project for next year. So that's my goal. I want to finish that project by end of next year. So get the permits. So now I think it's going to take another 4 or 5 months to get the approvals. So I have to line up and all. And from a sales point of view, this year we're almost 150. We helped 150 families. So next year I want to hit 200. Me and my team, we want to help at least 200 families next year. um, Even the last 6 months was very, very, like, the market has impacted very slow, very highly, because a lot of people um, could not afford from what they used to afford. And investors, they want to wait and see what's going to happen in the market. So the sales were down almost 50% in Windsor. The number of sales, like percentage wise, like 30% drop in the prices from April. So the sales are down. So still, even though still, we are really thankful for all our clients if you're watching this, if you're our client, thank you on trusting us, because even though it was a very slow market for many, thankful to you guys. We had a successful year, completed with the 150 transactions. So really grateful and looking forward to help more families with getting their investment goals achieved, helping them to achieve the financial freedom. Hey Tarun, how are you? Congratulations on the newborn. Glad to hear. One second, hoping you're keeping well. Yeah, I'm doing fantastic, brother. Thank you for asking. Congratulations on your newborn. Thank you, thank you. My goal is to maintain my investments and keep buying the next year. Fantastic. Yeah, that you used a very good word. Maintain the existing investments, because that's a key. A lot of people are afraid of market, and some people sell because of the fear. This is one thing I would strongly recommend. Many people ask me like, how can I avoid these things, right? Here's what my mantra: if you want to sustain in the markets like this, if you should never sell because of the fear. Only that will happen if you have additional savings for each property. What my philosophy been from the beginning, I want to have at least additional 10,000 per property. $10,000 per property. Of course, if it's a bigger property like multifamilies, it's multiple folds. But if it's a single family, duplex, triplex, any properties like under 500,000, 600,000, I want to have at least $10,000 access to, have access to that money, because there might be unknown issues coming in, like market like this. Your tenant might stop paying, or your roof can go, your furnace can break down, your AC can break down. Anything could happen, right? So when you're in a better position financially, you don't have to stress sell. If you don't sell, we all know over the period market will recover. So to get the better returns from your investment, that always good time to buy is buying low and selling high, right? So if you are in a better position financially, if you have enough savings for each property, then you don't have to stress sell. Unless you have a different exit strategy, you're buying, getting into a different investment, that's a different story. But just because you cannot hold on to it, you're selling, is the worst position to be in. And this is the market, that's why they call, like, when the tide's gone, you will see who is swimming naked, right? This is the market. You will see those stress sales, and the investors who are ready, they will jump in at that point. And the investors who are not prepared for that, this is why, from last 3 4 years I've been telling the same thing: cash flowing properties, buying cash flowing properties, and also having additional savings set aside is the key, in my opinion. Do you have any advice buying in US? Any strong markets, or Calgary or versus Edmonton market? Honestly, I haven't looked into US that much deeply. Personally, I'm still sticking to Windsor, because it's happening in front of my eyes. Windsor is growing super strongly. There's like a huge immigration growth happening, like a lot of new people coming in. So that's why, like, I didn't really get a chance to dig more into other cities. Calgary, Edmonton, I'm not a big fan, because Edmonton, I see there is a lot of vacancy compared to Calgary. Calgary, I see that it's still growing. It's still, like, there is a little bit of mm, not so stability yet, but I see it is growing. That's one of the reason why I got my property in Calgary. But again, I would strongly recommend dig more into. Personally, I haven't dig full deeply into all the areas around Calgary. I only just looked into few pockets. Definitely, there are some potential growth happening in Calgary as well. Good luck with all those good things. Thank you, Ahmed. Exciting plans. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Tarun, I invested in Miami only in a passive investment project. Like, I'm not an active investor on that project. It's one of my good friend in Windsor. He bought like a multifamily, like multiple condo units together, like a package, like few $1 million project. I invested money into it. So just a passive investment, because I strongly believe in that guy who did a deep research, and who has a solid network of people, who has connections, who knows what he's doing. So but I personally, I haven't researched more into it. But yeah, so what's your newer plans look like? What's going on in your life for New Year? What are you guys planning? And by the way, I don't know if I shared this in the beginning. I'm actually going to Cuba, Havana, tomorrow night. So really excited for that. It's with the friends. So we'll be there for 5 days, and I'm hoping it's going to be blast. Beautiful weather. Cannot wait to escape from this snow. And of course, I'll be missing my baby for a few days. But I believe in my wife and my in-law. They're going to take care of her. How do you raise capital for those investments? Good question. So first of all, the office building, that's all my personal money. I didn't raise any money for that. um, I put in pretty much 30% down and got a private lending, because when you have good credit, there are a lot of lenders out there who will lend privately. And if you I would not suggest doing private lending just blindly, unless you have access to enough funds that you can pay off that loans, right? So I got 70% private money on that project, and the rest of the money, the down payment and the renovation funds, that is pretty heavy. So far, that itself is like I spent almost 700,000, and that came from my business income, right? My active income. This is one area what I would recommend is, like, if you're going into bigger projects, having access to funds, especially if you have an active business, very very important. Like, having a solid income really helps. But if you don't have, like, we did raise money. I have We bought a 27 unit building 4 or 5 months ago with my partner Zishan. On that one we raised money. So basically we raised half money through private lenders and half money from investors. What we did is, reach out to your database, right? Like what I did, I reached out to all my clients and all the people whom I made friends, because your inner circle is the first place to reach. Because when you need money, who's gonna believe, who is gonna give you money? Only people who like and trust you, who believe in your vision. They're the one who is gonna give you the money. So obviously those are the first ones you have to reach out. So that helped me. All the funds that I raised is from my inner circle. Hey Raj, good evening. Would you recommend to bump up the rents for the current tenants as soon as you take over the rental cash flowing property, or would you rather wait? So, first of all, legally, as per the tenant law, you cannot increase the rents just whenever you want. That's not possible in Ontario. uh, Maybe in a different cities, I don't know. Not in Ontario. Ontario, you are not able to do that. You cannot do that. Don't do it. It's not legal. um, but if you get a vacant position, or if you negotiate with the tenants and bribe them, do a N11 form. N11 is nothing but like, in a simple words, you pay them some cash and they agree to leave with taking that cash. Then you can increase your rents. If you can do that, yes, of course, because the more income you have, the better, right? If your market value of your unit is $1,500, and if your tenant's paying you $1,000, you're losing $500 every month. Rather pay them $5,000 of rent, which is like 1 year of your income. But after that you have that extra $500, and when you go to sell that, because your property is making more income, you'll be getting more value, like more money in return. So if that's the case, yes, do it. But don't get into trouble, because tenants in Ontario are very very smart. So read the tenant law before you make any kind of decisions like that. um, yeah. And if you're if you don't have extra cash personally, if your property is already positive cash flowing and you have extra cash, instead of like working on that one, if it's already positive cash flow, let it go. Because you can use that cash to invest into better investments, because the market is down by 30% and the stock market is down more than 50% in some of good companies, right? So again, do your research. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. I'm just a random guy sharing opinions of myself on social media. So of course, do more research in there. So because this is the market where I strongly believe in having access to funds is very very key. Sand Sandhu, what if want to move into a property after buying, but the tenants are already occupied. So if you're planning to move in, and if they don't have a lease, if they don't have a 1 year lease, or any uh, specific term, then you can serve them a notice, because technically owner has a, you know legally can occupy, but you have to serve them proper notices, which is before end of the month. You have to give them 2 months notice. So let's say you're giving notice today. Today is December 22nd. So you have to give them the notice to move in March 1st, because this end of the month doesn't count. 60 days from end of the month, so beginning of next month. So January, February, that's 2 months. And then you can say, I believe it's an N12 form, but this is where read the tenant law, an N12 form or an N13, some one of them. It's been a while, I haven't used, but use that form and give the notices. Make sure you have all the notices, get their sign that they received, because at the end they can go back and say, no, 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 I didn't receive anything, I didn't get any confirmations. Make sure have that receipt that they received. And if they don't move out, then you can apply for the tenant board. That's another big hustle. The tenant board nowadays, they're very backed up. They're like 4 or 5 months backed up. But if they don't have lease and you give this notice, generally 80% of the times tenants will leave, because if you're moving in. But one thing, be careful. If you're moving there, but if you move out in less than 1 year, they can go after you, they can sue you, because they, if for any damages, they can say so many things. I have seen that happen. So be careful with that. Whom would you endorse in Windsor to do small renos? Ah, there's a lot of people. For if you, it depends on if you want to, spend some time and just hire a handyman guy, or if you want to use a company. I have my good friend Savio. I use him a lot. He has small and big contractors who does different work for him. Um, but just a handyman job, there are a lot of people. If you have anything specific, DM me, I can help you on that. So Jit, what do you think should go back to 35 40 years amortization? Oh, very good question actually. uh, Thanks that you're bringing up, Sujit. This is another new thing I learned actually recently, is if you're worried about your interest rates going up, if you are on variable, if you're worried that your payments going to increase, like me, you don't want to reduce your cash flow, then some big five banks like CIBC, I believe CIBC for sure does, and other lenders, they offer extended amortization. What that means, they tend to keep your payment where it is. And if you started with 30 years, if the interest rate goes up by certain percentage, they increase to 35, 32, 33. So that means you're paying your same amount of what you initially agreed on, but your amortization is increasing. So my all my properties that I have with CABC, they're already extended for maximum 40 years. And then that's when I got a call, because the interest rates went up even more. So they asked me if I want to, bring it back to 40 years and pay that extra amount. Of course, I have no choice at that point, or I can increase my payments to reduce to 30 years. So here's my personal opinion. If you're a buy and hold investor like me, who don't mind getting your mortgage paid down slowly, then extend that amortization. That way you will still have cash flow, so you don't have to put extra money from your pocket. Personally, I like that idea, because now you don't have to worry about that extra funds, right? But there are downsides, right? So now you're paying down your mortgage slower, so that's the downside. But upside is, now you have extra cash, right? You don't have to worry about that extra payments. um, Another downside is, now when you're paying down for longer, your payment, even though, like, your principal is getting paid down slowly. So ve- maybe just keep it for only until this interest rates are higher. And then when the interest rates drop, that's when maybe change your amortization, refinance your property at that point. So my personal opinion is extending the warranty, extending the amortization is good. But if you're someone, you don't have any challenges with the funds, you have extra funds, you want to pay down that, then hey, why not keep the same amortization and pay the extra payment? Would you choose Niagara Falls or Windsor for student rentals? I personally choose Windsor because Windsor has university. Windsor University is growing pretty rapidly, and St. Clair College also growing rapidly. Personally, I love Windsor more than Niagara Falls because Windsor has a lot more growth happening. A lot more employment is coming in with EV plant, a new bridge, and mega hospital. A lot of things happening. Just the EV plant itself is like another 3,000 new employees coming into the city. A lot of growth happening and lots of small businesses opening up, especially like Indian community, the Desi community, the restaurants, and all these snack places. Oh my god, a lot of growth. And the Detroit being one of the major city that is coming up, that is also providing employment for Windsorites who are citizens who are working on TN visa. So personally, I choose Windsor. What is the minimum amount would you recommend money wise to have before looking for a property in Windsor with these or future market? So, Misfits Boxing News. I love that name. Um, it depends on what type of an investor you are. If you're a first time home buyer, you're moving into a house, then it's a different story. Then you need a minimum money. But my minimum amount of recommendation would be once you own the house, because to buy a house is different story. Buy a house, you can put 20% down, you can put 5% down, you can put 30% down, right? So that varies, and what type of property you want to buy. So the minimum money is really specific to in specific individual. I don't want to comment on that one, but rather I would comment on, let's say you have a property, and let's say your property is, your expenses every month is, let's say, $5,000, and you have only one tenant. That means if the tenant leaves, you need $5,000 every month. I want to have, in that case, at least three times of that, my monthly expenses, which means $15,000. I want to have access to that $15,000 when that situation arises. So that way I don't have to stress sell. So that's minimum amount I would comment on. But if you're talking about like just buying, then it really depends on case by case. If you have a more specific question about your situation, maybe ask me a little bit more detailed question. Thank you, Raj. Glad to hear. What are other cities that where positive cash flow is more than Windsor? I know I'm lazy. I don't like to do more research. I don't like to spend in front of computer that much. So I didn't really look into that much. I'm I don't know. Maybe I would say, do you know any city that is more cash flow than Windsor? Let me know in the comments below. Then I would pick those specific cities and dig more into it. Personally, I haven't looked out of my Windsor. I'm already like super busy with Windsor stuff. I think that's why only area that I looked was Calgary, and that also pre-construction. Calgary and GTA. That too only I looked at a pre-construction, because pre-construction I don't have to think too much about the project being completed. So I try to pick the longer pre-construction so that I don't have to worry about closing them right away and having management and all. But they are not cash flowing. None of them were cash flowing, all my pre-constructions. So that's why no matter where I invested, for me Windsor made a lot more sense. But if you know any city that you're investing that you feel is a good city for cash flow, let me know in the comments below. Maybe we can talk more. Maybe we can analyze the city together. I would love to do that. Also, are there ways to buy and manage a property in Windsor living in Toronto? Of course, this is a very, very common thing, right? Like, more than half of my clients are like that. More than half of the clients are from Toronto or, Vancouver, different cities, because those bigger cities don't have an option to buy a property that can cash flow. So what they do, they pick. um, so if you're, let's say, looking to invest in Windsor, now you need me and my team help, right? Because we are investors here. We have contacts for property management contractors. When you need something, someone whom you can call and ask for all the help. um, that is what important. You have to leverage other experts in different areas that can help you to manage your property, help you to buy your property, help you to inspect, help you to fix things, help you to take care of it in the right way. But if you don't ask for that help, you won't get it. If you're just trying to do all by yourself, it's not going to be possible, because how many times you're going to come down? It's 4 hours drive, right? I cannot fly down to Calgary to see my property, to manage my property. I reached out to some of my friends and who helped me to connect with other local property manager, and other realtor there, and I'm in touch with them, so they help me with managing and all those things. So that's what I would recommend. Having a team in place is key, and the team starts with a investor focused realtor. So my situation is, I'm planning to save up 25 to 30K by mid of next year, and also think markets won't be up as much, and I cannot afford the house here, so I'm looking there. So if you're saving up 25 to 30K, and if you have an option to work from home, then that's a best case scenario, because now you can say that you can not say you move into the house, right? You can move into the house, so then that becomes a primary home. So then you can buy that house. If possible, stick to a duplex, or where you can have one portion of the house you can rent for, you can live in yourself and have some more income. So that way, even though your expenses are like 3 4 thousand, but you have extra 2,000 or $1,500 or $3,000 coming in. So now you don't have to worry about having all the costs paid from your pocket, so you will have more savings. So that's what I would recommend. Yes, that's definitely a decent amount, good enough to start buying a 6 7 bedroom single family home in Windsor, or a duplex. Personally, my favorite one's house hack for first time homebuyers: a 2 unit property, live in one unit, rent out the other unit. Ramanpreet, thoughts on Edmonton? Not, I haven't done much research, bro. I don't want to lie. How much is the gross rental rate in Windsor? Gross rental rate. What does it mean? You mean the vacancy rate? No one ever asked me about gross rental rate. Maybe elaborate the question a little bit. I didn't understand it. If you're talking about vacancy rate in Windsor, the vacancy rate is under 4% right now. Unless your property is ugly shit, they will rent. Maybe this December month is a little different, because December month, generally, holiday time, Christmas time, no one wants to move. um, I will reach out to you when I'm ready, of course, anytime. What if the tenants damage the property? How can we overcome the situation? Unfortunately, we are in Ontario. It's not that easy to get that funds from the I had that situations, right? Like, in the past, one of my property, I had a tenant. He broke the window, broke the cabinets, cabinet doors. Countertop was damaged. There was like almost $5,000 expenses. So what we can do? Send an application to tenant board and wait for freaking months to put it on their credit history. So it's a process. Unfortunately, that's very tough. But what can you control is, don't go cheap on the tenants. Make sure you place good tenants. Place the tenants whom you think these guys are good financially and good with their credit. Have a good track record, have a good references from their past landlords, and check their job employment, because Don't cheap out on these tasks. Don't discount on these tasks. Make sure you do all those steps. Find a good tenant, then you can avoid those things. And of course, have that extra savings, because that is, unfortunately, not everything in real estate is in your control. So certain things are not in your control. So having that extra savings, extra funds, access is very, very key. Is it allowed to do renovations in your rental property while tenants are still living inside the house? Yes, it is allowed. You have to get permission from them, of course, because they are living there. And generally, if you're doing something that is going to make their life, make the place looks nicer, generally they are more open. But it's a little bit, uncomfortable. But generally, people are more open because, if you're painting the whole house, making the house nicer, why do they say no? A rent to price. So it depends on, if you're looking at a resale homes, let's say if they're older homes, especially like in Walkerville area, those are my favorite area, where you have a nice single family homes or duplexes or fourplexes. Those properties, a duplex you can get under 500,000. So that duplex can make you 3,000 to $4,000. So that's a price to ratio. Mm, if you're looking at a student rental, they can rent up to, like, if you're buying a 400,000 home, you can get up to like 4,000 or even 3,500. So close to 1% rule. And if you want more 1%, there are some certain properties. Actually, we have right now two properties that I have in hand, off market. No, they just went up on the market. A 6 bedroom house, rented for working professionals. Um, $3,300 rent, and that would sell anywhere from 360 to 400,000. So give or take, that's the ratios you're looking at. 60 to 70, more like 0.7% or 0.8% rent of the price. Wow, time just fly by. And what are you guys planning for your Christmas? What are you guys planning for, for your New Year? What's going on in your life? Let me know in the comments below. Um, what type of content you want me to make in New Year, so that I can plan my uh, the videos stuff. Let me know in the comments below. And of course, do you guys know that I'm doing a meetup in New Year on February 10th? So I'll put the link in the comments or in the description somewhere, or DM me on Instagram, asking for meetup information, or it should be on my bio on Instagram. We have a meetup in Windsor. If you would like to come and meet other investors, of course, meet me. I'd love to meet you guys in person. It's on February 10th. So mark your calendar. Of course, there is a very small fee. Is not for me. I'm not making money on that. It's just a $50 fees for. We are doing a charity work, for something that I think after becoming a father, I started to become a little bit more emotional than before. um, there is a charity in India that, this group, they help orphan girls, especially in helping them get educated. So the funds will go towards that, and the place for restaurant and some food. You can enjoy some nice Indian spicy food. Who controls the price for any property in terms of rental, owner, or rental board? Oh, so Mahendra, generally it's owner and the market, because what is the market, right? Like, if there is demand, there will be the price increase. So the government doesn't, the rental board doesn't involve in what you can charge. It will involve, you cannot increase your existing tenants rent just like that. But if you have a beautiful home, you have luxury stuff, if you want to charge $5,000 and there are tenants who are willing to pay 5,000, you can do it. There's no restrictions on that. So that means technically it's a demand and supply. There is less inventory, not much, rental places, nice places for that price, then you'll get them. What is the cost of renovating a house? Kitchen, washroom, flooring, countertops, four-bedroom house in GTA. So GTA, I don't have a house in GTA. I know that GTA labor expense is little bit cheaper than Windsor. Um, and it also depends on so many elements. What's the square footage of your kitchen? What's your square footage of your house? Because flooring changes per square footage, painting changes per square footage. Kitchen cabinets, how much is this your kitchen size? I don't know, right? But here's the tip I would give: get quotations. If you're in GTA, let's say whichever city you're in, get some referrals from people you know, especially if you have a realtor. If you have a good realtor, ask them for reference. If you know, if you have friends who have done renovations recently, ask them for referrals. How is their contractor? And ask Google. Nowadays, Google has a lot of reviews. Pick someone who is good, get quotations, and see how you like the person. See, and ask them if you can go see their previous work or any projects that they're working currently. So do all those, then make a decision. If you get three or four quotations, then probably you're hearing my baby noise. That means, Papa, come, it's your time up. Time for the live. You have to come to me. That's the noise I can hear now. Sorry. So yeah, get quotations, because once you get three or four quotations, you will know whom you like, you don't like, how much their prices are, how they price them, what's the material cost, what's the labor cost. And also, if you have more patience, maybe you buy the material, because if you are good with shopping, you can find cheaper material. Then find the cheaper material and hire the contractor for doing the labor work. What are your thoughts about month to month rent, or would I do 1 year straight lease with your tenants? So, I mean, here's the thing: for mortgage purpose, and for your, if you want to feel more confident, strength, generally, for you, if you have a plans to move into that house, maybe 3 months down the road, or 1 year down the road, 6 months down the road, maybe having a month to month is easy, it's better. But having a 1 year lease, that means if they want to move out 3 months down the road, 5 months down the road, they cannot. Now they have to pay, penalty to move out if they have a 1 year lease. So for you as an investor, if you don't have any plans to move into that, having a 1 year lease would help. Would you take student rental, or would you choose family rental? That's a personal choice. Here's what I would say: if you have a little bit of patience to create some decent systems, and if you like that moments, you don't mind, renting it out within 1 year again, within 2 years again. Student rental is great. You just need to train the students properly. You should have some proper systems in place, so that they will be taken care well, they will take care of the property well. Personally, I have both. I have students in a couple of my properties, but I tend to avoid per room basis, because for me, I don't have that much time to handle. Because initially I did that, but my property manager, I felt like she's lacking, where there will be more students than I expected. She rent one room for $500, but I see three people sleeping in that room. Now my cost of expenses gone up. The property is getting damaged even more. So a lot of things, right? So I didn't like that. Then I started renting per unit basis. Even per unit basis, I do now. For those student rentals, I do a cleaning service every 2 weeks. So now the cleaner send me the pictures, so that is helping me to make sure the property is clean. And also, now that they know that my cleaner is going in there, so that there won't be more people. So there won't be more people than they are on the lease, because she's going to tell me how many beds, what she's going to see. So the pictures will help me, right? How much is the average rent slash month per month if the house is close to university? It depends on how many bedrooms you have. Depends on if you're renting it, if you're renting with furniture or without furniture. So generally, you can expect per room in university anywhere from $400 to all the way $700. If you have a really luxury room, you can expect $700. Nice, with all the cleaning services, Wi-Fi, and a nice appliances, and TV. um, the bed, chairs, and everything. If it's a just okay room, you can expect $400. Hi, Sunny. So I'll take the last question. Looks like my baby is crying, asking me to come. What would be the selling price for this house, Frank Coys? Bro, please send me a DM, because it takes me time to analyze it, and looks like it's already 8 p.m. If you're looking to sell that property, just DM me. I'll save this address. DM me on Instagram. I'll look at the details so that I can reach out to you. We can discuss more, because to tell the price, there are so many things I have to look into. It will just the analyzing itself will take at least a half an hour to make sure I have all the data, make sure we look at all the recent sales, make sure we are taking every element into consideration, and then come up with the value, because that itself will work. If that is the property you're talking about that is on the market, do you have a realtor? If you don't have a realtor, then DM me. We will more than happy to analyze the property and tell you if it's a good one for you or not. Find out your what's your goals, if it meets your goals or not, all those things. So DM, I think that's better for analyzing the property. When would be the best time to buy? Whenever you're ready. That's my short answer, but long answer, because if you're not ready, and if you're waiting for the perfect time, I don't know when the perfect time will come. I'm not good at analyzing the market, as expecting. I really stopped thinking the market will be dropping another 5% or 10% or 20%. I don't know. Honestly, that's my honest answer. Just a regular Joe who is completely dumb with all this economics. I'm not. Maybe there are many gurus out there who predicts the market. Personally, I would call myself like a idiot real estate investor. I believe in a very basic fundamentals: a nice solid property in a good location, if it can cash flow, if I have enough funds with some savings, which I can afford to hold on to it if the rents doesn't come, then I would buy, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Right now there is a 30% drop in the market, and that 30% can become 40%, because I don't know, there could be another 5% drop, there could be another 10% drop, or it could start picking up from next month, 2 months. Rather, if you focus on what's your goal, where are you standing currently financially and mentally with your time and all those things. If you're financially ready, if you're mentally ready, if your goal is to get to that certain financial freedom or whatever, then personally I'm not a big fan of waiting. But when you're in the market, look for good opportunities, work with the right people, find good investment property, get it for good price, because nowadays we are negotiating hard on deals. Like, just before I jump in here, we were negotiating on a duplex, they listed for 480, we almost got it accepted for 435. So even though the market value is around there, we were able to negotiate, because if the seller is more motivated, we can negotiate even more. We had like deals in last 1-2 months, we were able to negotiate like 50 to 100 150,000 on some deals, from literally from the market value, from the asking price. So in this market it's possible. So if you stick to what's your goals, where you're standing, and look for those opportunities, is better than waiting for that perfect moment. I don't know, in life I don't believe in perfect moments. If you're trying to buy, I would say DM. I'm more than happy to jump on a call and discuss the details. I'm going to be next Mexico next year to relax after this year 2022. Well, my favorite place, bro. I went I think this year I went to Mexico. Loved it. The vibes, man. People are like so cool, always partying. Love it. Should I wait until next year? Like I said, we're already New Year. So technically, just 3 weeks from here is a New Year. Like I answered, look into yourself, look into all the details, and maybe jump on a call. If you're looking in Windsor, GM, anyone need any help in Windsor, right? Like, even if you're not planning to buy now, like you just want to, share your thoughts, get an idea where you're standing, um, make your plans accordingly, then DM. My assistant will schedule a call, of course, not during I'm on vacation. After vacation, we'll schedule a call, we'll do a one-on-one call, 15-20 minutes, get to know each other, and see, either me or one of my agent will do that. So you don't have to do right away business, right? Just plan your things, see whenever the right time comes for you, for your personal situation, then jump in. Okay, Raj, thank you so much, buddy. Glad it helped you. Merry Christmas, everyone, once again. Hope this year was a fantastic year. I know, not in terms of real estate, but generally, hope you had a very good, I'm really grateful that the COVID shit is over this year. Finally, we are going out and I have my baby. Be grateful for what you already have is one thing I strongly believe is the key to be successful and happy in life. So I'm really grateful for all of you for encouraging me with this content, and to constantly giving me feedback and constantly working with us, with my team. Really, really thankful for you guys, and thankful for my baby for coming into this world to be with me now. I'm really excited to see her growth, and for my wife and my parents for supporting us with throughout everything. So really thankful for everything for this year, and really excited for more content and more exciting things for new year. With that, thank you so much, guys. Take care. Have a wonderful evening.